This year's Champions League semifinals offer something truly unexpected. No Real Madrid, no Manchester City, not even Bayern Munich. Instead, Europe's most prestigious club competition welcomes 4 teams, each representing a different powerhouse league: Spain, England, Italy, and France. What makes this stage so compelling is how unique each of these semi-finalists is. One side plays with icy pragmatism, another presses like a hurricane. One is flying high thanks to a well-oiled system, the last is fighting as if every match could be their last. These contrasts make ranking their current power levels more intriguing than ever. This is not a prediction of who will lift the trophy. It is a snapshot of who is peaking, who is dangerous, and who is ready to strike. Let's start with Barcelona. No longer living off nostalgia, under Hansi Flick, they play modern football. High-intensity pressing, lightning transitions, and most importantly, they have depth across the board. Rafinha, once considered surplus, is now leading the club in European goals. Robert Lewandowski, despite being past his physical prime, is enjoying a sensational renaissance. And then there's Lamine Yamal, just 17 but already playing with the maturity of a seasoned pro. Compared to PSG or Arsenal, Barcelona's schedule has been brutal, but their squad rotation, fitness management, and consistent output show they are built for big games. Their semi-final clash against Inter Milan will be the ultimate test, and if they pass it, winning the title is absolutely within reach. This is no longer the fading giant, is a legitimate contender. After finishing second in their group, Barcelona knocked out Benfica in the round of 16 and swept aside Borussia Dortmund in the quarterfinals with a 5-2 aggregate. They have scored 36 goals in just 12 matches, an outrageous strike reign. No longer chained to the tiki-taka of old, they now know when to control the tempo, when to explode on the counter, and how to create chaos from wide areas using relentless pressing. Rafinha has already netted 12 goals, Lewandowski has 11, and the teenage sensation Lamine Yamal has been directly involved in 7 goals. Behind them is Pedri, the brain of the midfield, a symbol of the club's new generation and arguably the most consistent central midfielder in Europe right now. Take the 1-0 win over Mallorca. Pedri did not score or assist, but he touched the ball 125 times, completed 92% of his passes, created 6 key chances, and won possession 18 times. When Pedri plays, Barcelona dictates the rhythm. When he is absent, like in the first hour against Dortmund, they lose that connection. And don't forget the man on the touchline, Hansi Flick. He has not only brought youth into the lineup, but he has also brought experience at the right moments. He revived players like Rafinha and Jules Koundé and elevated young talents like Pau Cubarsí and Fermín López into starters. Flick does not need another Messi. What he demands is a system that knows exactly what it is doing, and right now, Barcelona fits that bill. The major contrast in this semi-final is between Barcelona and Inter Milan. While PSG have already secured Ligue 1 and Arsenal are putting all their chips on the Champions League, both Barça and Inter are battling on 3 fronts. Inter are level on points with Napoli in Serie A, face AC Milan in the Coppa Italia semi-finals, and now must navigate a Champions League clash with Barcelona. It is not just a tactical battle, it is a test of endurance. 2 brilliant managers, Flick and Inzaghi, must manage every minute with absolute precision. There is one detail worth highlighting. Before the season, Rafinha was nearly sold to cut down the wage bill. He chose to stay, even though he was not the most celebrated name. Now, he is leading Barcelona in European scoring, a reward for loyalty and relentless effort. If Barcelona is the team with a clear blueprint, Inter Milan is the side powered by grit. They do not blow teams away, they do not dominate possession, but they survive. Lautaro Martinez is their undisputed leader. The midfield trio of Barella, Di Marco, and Calhanoglu forms a machine, unflashy but brutally efficient. The fixture congestion may hurt Inter, but if any team can tough it out, it is them. In this year's semi-finals, Inter still represents classic Italian football. No flash, no fuss, just timing, precision, and composure. After eliminating Fenerbahce, they took down Bayern Munich with a 4-3 aggregate. The second leg at the San Siro was an emotional roller coaster. 4 second-half goals and a cold-blooded finish by Lautaro that sealed the tie. And if we are naming the standout performer for Inter in this Champions League run, there is no debate. It is Lautaro Martinez. With 8 goals in 11 matches, he is not only the top scorer but the soul of this team, leading by example, fueling their fire. In Serie A, Marcus Thuram leads their scoring charts with 14 goals. But Lautaro is the man who rises in the big moments. He is the one who tips the balance when everything is on the line. Behind him, Inter's midfield is stacked with quality. Nicolo Barella, with 8 assists across all competitions, is the heartbeat of the team. Federico Di Marco has quietly made his presence felt down the left flank, delivering 7 assists in Serie A while maintaining consistent form in the Champions League. Hakan Çalhanoğlu plays like an emotional engine, organizer and metronome, anchoring the system with composure and precision. But the schedule is a massive challenge. Inter are stretched across Serie A, where they are locked in a fierce title race with Napoli, the Coppa Italia semi-final against AC Milan, and now this Champions League showdown with Barcelona. Barca's fixture list is tough too, but fitness will be a decisive variable in this semi-final. After the win over Benfica, Lautaro Martinez said something that stuck with many fans. "We fight with heart, with brains, and with courage. We suffer, but we also know how to create miracles." And true to his words, Simone Inzaghi's Inter Milan is a textbook example of classic Italian football. Never flashy, never flamboyant, but always gritty and ruthlessly efficient. They may not have global icons like Mbappe or Bellingham, but they do have a disciplined, experienced, and united squad. The semi-final against Barcelona is their biggest test of the season, but if Inter can summon the same spirit and steel they showed when knocking out Bayern Munich, do not be surprised if they recreate the magic of 2010. Then comes Paris Saint-Germain. This season, there are no star-studded headlines like in previous years. Instead, Luis Enrique's team plays high-speed modern football, aggressive pressing, coordinated movement, and surgical precision. Ousmane Dembele is electric, Bradley Barcola brings flair and creativity, Vitinha provides relentless engine room work, and Gianluigi Donnarumma, despite his limitations with the ball at his feet, stood tall in the penalty shootout thriller against Liverpool. What sets PSG apart is not just their form but their focus. Liga is already wrapped up. The French Cup final comes after the Champions League. PSG are the only semi-finalists fully devoted to this competition. However, their weaknesses remain. Aerial defending is a clear flaw. They struggle against set pieces and tend to get exposed against elite sides. Arsenal punished that vulnerability with a 2-0 win back in the group stage. PSG did not reach the semi-finals through luck. They eliminated Liverpool on penalties, then edged past Aston Villa with a 5-4 aggregate. They have scored 30 goals in 14 Champions League matches spread across 11 different players. That is the hallmark of a team, not a one-man show. Dembele leads PSG in European goals with 7. Barcola has delivered 10 assists. Vitinha dominates midfield with a 91% pass accuracy and 92 successful ball recoveries. And Donnarumma, often criticized for his footwork, rose to the occasion when it mattered most. But the biggest story might be Luis Enrique himself. He erased the Galactico label and transformed PSG into a well-drilled collective. As Rio Ferdinand once said, Luis Enrique has turned PSG into a machine. This is no longer the team of Neymar or Mbappe, it is a unified side that knows exactly who they are and what they are playing for. Then there is Arsenal, the only one of the 4 remaining teams with absolutely nothing left to lose. With the FA Cup out of reach, the Champions League is all they have, and that makes them incredibly dangerous. They hammered Real Madrid 5-1 in the group stage, and let's not forget, they already dismantled this PSG side at the Emirates with a dominant performance. Arsenal's main concern is depth. The absence of Thomas Partey and Gabriel has been felt, and if they are forced into multiple high-stakes matches in a short span, fatigue could become a major issue. Still, let's not overlook the fact that Arsenal are here on merit. They knocked out Real Madrid with a 5-1 aggregate. Madrid, the 15-time champions who had never lost a quarter-final in the past 12 seasons. Arsenal won both legs, 3-0 at the Emirates and 2-1 at the Bernabeu. In this year's Champions League, Arsenal have played 12, won 9, drawn 2, and lost just once to Inter. They have scored 30 goals and conceded only 7. Their attack is lethal and their defense is solid, second only to Inter. Martin Odegaard is the heartbeat of this side. He dictates tempo, finds pockets of space, and links defense to attack seamlessly. Despite a recent dip in form, no one has forgotten Odegaard's outstanding campaign last season. 11 goals, 12 assists. Declan Rice was immense in both legs against Real Madrid, and now with Gabriel Jesus and Kai Havertz injured, Leandro Trossard has stepped up. His brace in the 4-0 win over XX has given Arteta a new and timely attacking option. The strength of this Arsenal side is not in marquee signings or superstars. It is in the structure. 3 years of meticulous development under Mikel Arteta. The squad has depth, a clear tactical identity, and the ability to adapt in real time. Against XX, Arteta pushed Rice deeper, gave Odegaard more freedom to roam box to box, and tucked Trossard inside. And it all clicked like a perfectly composed symphony. Arteta did not hide his intentions ahead of the showdown with PSG. Trossard will start, he can play anywhere, and he is always ready. A huge advantage for Arsenal is that while PSG, Inter, and Barcelona are still juggling their domestic duties, the Gunners are now all in for the Champions League. The Premier League title is out of reach. The FA Cup is long gone. For Arsenal, Europe is everything. Even Fabio Capello admits Arsenal now possess all the tools to reach the top: quality, balance, and elite-level fitness, on par with PSG. "If I had to pick," he said, "I'd pick Arsenal. They play with cohesion, at high speed, with technical skill and personality. That is top-class football." Another advantage came in the form of a scheduling change. The Crystal Palace match was moved, giving Arsenal 5 full days to rest before the semi-final. Mikel Arteta was blunt. "That is a gift and we will use it. We need to adapt, not because of PSG but because of Partey's fitness and that of a few others." Arsenal have only ever reached the Champions League final once, back in 2006, but this is a different team. A bold, young manager, a squad that plays like it's been programmed, and a level of ambition never seen before. If there were ever a year to rewrite history, this is it. This season's semifinals feel like two clashes of completely opposing football philosophies. Barcelona versus Inter is a showdown between possession football and traditional Italian pragmatism. PSG against Arsenal is a head-to-head between high-speed pressing and structured defensive discipline. The contrast is so stark that traditional comparisons almost lose their meaning, because sometimes the outcome hinges on just one moment. Statistically, Arsenal seem to have the edge: 6 wins and 1 draw in the group stage with just 3 goals conceded, the second-best defensive record in the competition. In the knockout rounds, they dismantled PSG and then crushed defending champions Real Madrid with a 5-1 aggregate. And let's not forget, Arsenal already beat PSG 2-0 in the group stage. But this is not the same PSG. This is a team that plays as one, pressing across the pitch, transitioning fluidly, and carrying a calm, ruthless energy. They beat Liverpool in a nerve-wracking shootout, overcame Aston Villa in a brutal physical battle, and had 7 different players score in a single match. While Arsenal are missing Thomas Partey in midfield and Gabriel in defense, PSG are perfectly positioned to exploit those exact gaps. As for Barcelona, they might be the most complete team on paper, but without Pedri, the whole system can collapse, as seen in the second leg against Dortmund. Barcelona scored the most goals in the group stage with 28 and put 4 past Dortmund in the first leg of the quarter-final. They have Lamine Yamal, the youngest player ever to feature in the Champions League knockout rounds. They have Lewandowski, who has scored more than 100 Champions League goals, and they have Rafinha, who has been involved in 19 goals with 12 scored and 7 assisted. But when it comes to Inter Milan, none of that might matter. Inter are not here to play pretty, they are here to survive, and they do it incredibly well. They kept 7 clean sheets in 8 group stage games, conceding just once, the best defensive record in the competition. Across 2 knockout rounds, they have still only conceded 5 goals in 12 matches. Inter do not need to dominate possession. They just need Lautaro Martinez and Marcus Thuram to finish. In midfield, Barella and Calhanoglu disrupt every rhythm the opponent tries to build, and behind them, Jan Sommer stands firm like a brick wall, calm, steady, and reassuring. They eliminated Bayern Munich without making noise. They reached the semi-finals like a machine, efficient, cold, and clinical. In these Champions League semi-finals, anything can happen. When one side is a tactical machine and the other rides on explosive inspiration, it is not always systems or formations that decide the outcome. It is the moment. The rankings only serve to make one point clear. This top four is not made up of weak teams. These are giants in their own ways. Barcelona, tactical precision. Inter, iron resilience. PSG, peak fitness and Luis Enrique. Arsenal, relentless focus and spirit. The Champions League will have only one winner, but the name etched into the trophy may not be the strongest team on paper. It will be the one that stays sharpest when the chaos begins and plans fall apart.